Russia's war effort doesn't run on tanks alone, it runs on oil. And despite years of Western sanctions, Russian oil keeps reaching global markets through the shadow fleet. Hundreds of aging tankers using foreign flags, opaque ownership, manipulated tracking systems, and constantly changing registrations. Europe isn't standing still anymore. In 2026, the confrontation got considerably more serious. Before we get into it, if you're finding value in these breakdowns, hitting like and subscribing to Reach Defense Media genuinely helps us keep this coverage going. We'd really appreciate it. The shadow fleet is exactly what it sounds like. Vessels moving sanctioned Russian oil through deliberately opaque structures, ships are renamed, registrations changed, and AIS tracking disabled or manipulated to make them harder to monitor. The goal is simple: keep Russian oil moving and keep the revenue flowing. The EU has sanctioned over 600 vessels, the UK over 500, and the US over 200. And the Baltic Sea has become the center of the struggle. Russia's terminals at Primorsk and Ust-Luga are major export hubs, while the Baltic is surrounded by NATO countries and packed with critical undersea infrastructure, cables, pipelines, communications networks, and energy systems. And Europe is increasingly responding with military assets. Naval commandos, helicopter-borne boarding teams, maritime patrol aircraft, and intelligence-supported operations are becoming part of sanctions enforcement. Earlier this year, an Italian-led European force boarded the sanctioned tanker Toa Payoh in the Mediterranean. When the captain resisted, Italian personnel inserted by helicopter, supported by a Greek vessel and Polish maritime patrol aircraft. The UK went even further. In June 2026, Royal Marines boarded and seized the shadow fleet tanker Smyrtos, reportedly the first direct seizure of a Russian-linked vessel by British military personnel. The era of simply monitoring these ships is ending. Physical interdiction is becoming the new reality. Russia isn't backing down either. Moscow has begun escorting shadow fleet vessels with warships, while Putin has described European seizures as piracy and warned Russia could respond wherever it considers appropriate. Then investigators uncovered something even more concerning. Some shadow fleet tankers operating in the Baltic were reportedly carrying individuals linked to Wagner, Russian military intelligence, and airborne units, people with no maritime background. European intelligence believes some may have been deployed to complicate or deter boarding operations. That's when this stopped looking like a simple sanctions story. Some shadow fleet vessels have also been associated with suspicious activity around undersea infrastructure, including AIS interruptions, unusual drifting, and navigation anomalies near critical cables and pipelines. None of these incidents automatically proves Russian responsibility, but the pattern has fundamentally changed how European security planners view the Baltic. And there's a major legal problem. Under international maritime law, European countries can't simply board whatever vessel they want. Nationality, territorial waters, exclusive economic zones, and vessel registration all matter. That's why many operations focus on suspected false flags, fraudulent documentation, or vessels believed to be operating without legitimate nationality. This isn't a traditional naval war. There are no fleets exchanging missiles. Instead, you're seeing inspections, helicopter insertions, intelligence operations, legal investigations, and military forces operating on the same deck. Russia's shadow fleet isn't just moving oil. It's helping fund the Russian economy and sustain the war, while increasingly becoming part of a much larger confrontation with Europe. And every new boarding carries a greater risk of escalation, especially now that Russian warships are escorting these vessels. The Baltic Sea is no longer just an energy corridor, it's becoming one of the most important front lines in Europe's hybrid confrontation with Russia. Subscribe to Reach Defense Media for more coverage like this.